Check. Check.
Check one,
I think
two.
you can hear me though, because I can kind of hear
Yo.
myself
Yo.
bouncing off.
Yeah, I can hear me.
Oh, you
Alright,
tagged
cool.
him?
Alright. She say y'all doing the face.
Funny, but now you're on the podcast, Pootie. You've never done this with?
Never been on a podcast. Period. Never been on one.
I just put Pootie on.
Put me on though.
Is this some new shit?
We laugh. Alright, we laugh.
Yeah, so just like how you have it right now.
So like I'm in the mic right now.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Just make sure you stay at that distance.
Stay at that distance.
Stay at that distance.
Instance. Okay.
This is a comfortable ass podcast.
I gotta take that off. And we've been on the move all day, baby.
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 Let me make sure this is on
Baby.
Baby.
Baby. All right, so now I'm comfortable. I'm speaking comfortably.
Come on now.
Whoa, kill him.
Ooh.
Ooh, kill him. Ooh, kill him. Ooh.
We stay lit. Okay. What's up, fam?
Yo.
Hey, we
Hey,
live.
How y'all doing, Facebook?
What's up?
Hello,
Yeah.
Facebook land, Instagram land, Twitter land.
All that.
All
Yeah.
that.
So, today we have a very interesting couple of guests. You know what I'm saying? I've always wanted you on like a podcast.
I've always
or something
wanted
like
to
that.
come on the podcast.
I mean,
I've been
it's
wanting
fairly
to see what
new,
you're
but
doing.
It's always been fairly new, but you know, like I just always wanted to do something like this with you. So,
Okay.
and now we got Malik over here. What's up, Tyler?
Yo,
Yo,
Tyler.
what's up, bro?
Tyler.
Get well
Good
soon,
from
bro.
seeing you. Get well soon, bro.
Yes, y'all pray for my cousin Tyler, cause
Broski.
this man is a whole warrior. He
a trooper.
Oh.
He for real.
He out here holding it down. So
Infection in his body spread to his eye sockets. They
June
had to drain
3rd,
the
free my boy,
infection
man.
From his
right,
eyes.
June 3rd, free my boy.
Free my boy,
Free
man.
T Willie.
Free T Will.
Ooh, look at that. Hey. Ooh, that's crazy. Okay, let me stop because
All
what is
right.
going on?
Back to the regularly scheduled program.
Hold on, we gotta fix this because. Alright.
I did not know we were still live.
We're still live. We have a few viewers, but they can't
Ooh,
hear
bye.
you though.
So
That's
they
what I'm saying.
can't hear just Ryan or none of us.
You want to share a mic at this point?
Yeah,
Yeah,
might as
I'm
well,
gonna just
yeah.
slide
At
it
this
back
point,
and
you're,
forth.
okay. So
Yeah, I got you. Okay. So, on this episode, it really is. It's throwing me all the way off. Hey, Miss Tammy, Auntie. Hey. Okay. That's this lady from my church.
Oh hey.
I call her Auntie. I
Hey,
call her a whole bunch
TT.
of- Right. Hey,
Hey,
TT. We T. Okay. So, the topics that we have for today are the Met Gala, but I'm pretty sure we're just not gonna talk about that because I don't know a whole lot about the Met Gala, and we're just not gonna talk about what we don't.
I don't know a whole lot about the historic background of the Met Gala. I
don't
just
think
know
we-
that
I'm definitely
I
not
got
gonna
my
go
wig
into-
snatched a couple times.
I'm
Like,
dead.
Yeah.
Cardi B definitely.
Cardi definitely
she pulled
snatched
out.
me. Nicki, of course, Queen. snatched me
Zendaya, I
always.
don't know why she went with the whole like Cinderella thing, but she did do that good though. Like
Yeah.
she killed that.
Katy Perry had best costume to me.
Really? I mean,
If you think
Which
about
Gaga,
the
I mean, but Gaga always comes.
okay, but now I gotta show them because like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Perry was a hamburger, right?
Oh yeah, I did
Katy
see
Perry
that.
was a hamburger.
Be-
and
best
This
dressed.
lady,
something else.
she always
was
dressing
a
up.
chandelier.
She always dressing
Best
up as
dressed
some
Katy
meat.
Perry,
I'm like, what is
2019.
going on?
She was a chandelier. She was a chandelier.
I
Very
wanna
creative.
swing from the chandelier.
I thought Cardi B was gonna walk up and fly away.
Man, Katy Perry is literally the most extra person on the planet. I swear.
Yeah.
Hamburger helper thing.
Um,
But like, why is she always dressing up as food though? Like,
Katie just always has appeared. To
she dressed
that,
up as
like,
an ice cream
that dark
cone.
part of the internet that we kind of just find ourselves
dark
treading
web.
into. Yeah, the dark web.
I'm
that we kind of
dead.
that dark part of YouTube that you
I
just
just be
happen to
seeing
get
her
into
like,
at 4 in the
what is
morning.
really going on though?
So yeah.
2 microphones. I'm at a press release. What you mean?
Okay, period. But so then if we're gonna skip the Met Gala, what's the next topic on?
Okay, next topic is drum roll, please. If I had a drum roll sound, it'd be on right now. But like, we don't have the materials. But next one is the Beyonce Netflix special. Have y'all seen that?
I watched. Okay, Beyonce's Queen, always, mother,
always.
But I watched only an hour of that Netflix special because
it's 2
I
hours, so
just
like-
couldn't dedicate my entire. I couldn't do it.
Were you just too busy, or
Bills have to be paid. The credit cards don't pay, baby. The credit cards do not pay themselves. They don't.
Yeah, they really don't.
They don't.
If you would like me to watch Netflix and you want to drop your account under the comments, that would be more than
he said drop your username and password if you like.
More than helpful.
If you
Netflix.
feeling more than willing, if you're more than willing, go ahead and drop that in there.
Ryan, why don't you go ahead and just fill us in on the details?
You did
her special.
all the way from Korea. You know what I'm saying?
Hey. Korea.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, Ryan. We see you.
Literally, she's like from Wheaton College, but she went back home for the
but
summer.
Mama went back home.
Right. So she in Korea now. So what's that? I miss you. Stop. Okay. Okay. So for the Beyonce Netflix special, they covered a whole bunch of things like her losing weight after her second pregnancy with 2 kids.
Yeah, I saw that. Mama went to like what?
I was like, I ain't never seen her like that. Yeah, she's like, I don't even know. I can't tell you the precise measurement or whatever, but like she was a thickums. But
I definitely saw the video of her rehearsing, and I mean,
she was still getting it though.
It was amazing to watch what.
I'm over here.
Can go through.
I can't even do the Cupid shuffle for more than 5 minutes without. It's all this root beer. I really need to stop. Fix it,
you
Jesus.
need to slow down on that. But go ahead.
All right, Mom. Anyway, what you're not gonna do. But a lot of people were giving her disrespect for just a whole bunch of reasons. But like,
so homecoming was what about the?
It was her,
Coachella
her
performance
Coachella
solely,
performance.
Just,
yeah.
Okay.
But also, it was
for
about
how
like
many
her
years?
behind the scenes. She had 8 months.
8 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm mad because they paid Ariana Grande more than Beyonce.
Well, didn't they pay The Weeknd more than both of them?
But why? That's my question.
Yeah, I can't remember a Weeknd song from this year.
I can't either.
No offense though, a message to the Weeknd though. She only call me when you know, I like that.
Hey, right.
I like that song.
Honestly, his songs be too catchy though. Like,
no, his songs are catchy. Don't get me wrong. He's a very talented and well-rounded artist, but Beyonce is Beyonce.
right. You really
she's more than just
that.
global. Like she's more than just global on the first world country basis. Like this woman is very well known.
I wish I had her stamina.
She's an entertainer. Like
literally after the first song,
yeah.
I'd been like, I need to take an hour break. Like I can't.
Yeah, the Weeknd is more.
I'd
so
had
like
cramps. I'd have fell down the stairs 3 times.
The Weeknd is more so like just a vocalist to me.
I just don't like his hair.
Beyonce's
Did he
an
cut his
entertainer.
hair?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
I was about to say. I was like, man, you need to cut the tent, dude. Cut it down.
I mean, it's the same with Ariana Grande and her worn out ponytail.
Ooh.
We're tired. She's tired.
She really tried the
very
same.
tired.
She tried the same like 3 looks like 8 times. I'm like,
yeah,
no,
I'm done. I'm done with the high ponytail. I'm worn out. I love a good,
we love a good
Ariana, but that ponytail is worn, baby.
The more I hear Ariana Grande songs, the more I hear her ad libs are the exact same.
She has ad libs.
Yeah, she's like,
yeah.
Yeah, she do.
Yeah.
She be trying to sneak him in there, but it's like if you really deeply listen to it, like I listen to like music deeply and listen to that kind of stuff, you would tell she does the same. She does the same stuff.
Going back to Homecoming, since that's the topic.
Yeah, right. That's the topic. Let's not stray off that. I was about to say, you said let's go back to it.
But going back to Homecoming, I just found it like really amazing that she had all of this footage from the 8-month process.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
we don't really get to see a lot of the behind the scenes with Beyonce and
bro, my
her
cousin,
workmanship. So
Brienne, I need to tag you in this because and Miss Andy Jameson.
So it was really good to see how she gets down to it, like how we get down to these amazing.
Get down with the get down
performances, and it's 8 months worth of work that she's putting in, and probably even more. And it was great because I mean we don't get to see a lot of HBCUs, get up on those big stages. So she kind of brought that Black culture to Coachella to a I don't want to say
HBCU
swine,
when they was doing that little surfboard thing. I was
yeah, no, it was really good to see.
Like I watched the whole thing, but like after the first like maybe 2 times, I definitely skipped all the little interlude parts where she was talking. I was like, yeah, I just want to see the performance because that's all I'm worried about.
Yeah, and motherhood definitely changes a lot of things.
But like it changes a whole bunch of people, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't really speak on that because I'm a dude.
Because
but
you're a man.
I'm a man, sis. I'm a man. But
My bad. Yeah, shout out to all the women on there. I just want to say y'all,
Yes.
y'all do
doing y'all
real
thing.
strong. Shout
Y'all
out
doing
my
y'all
mama,
thing.
his mama, her mama.
I love you.
All the mamas in the real, Just want to let y'all know I love you.
I love you, Mom. I know
Yeah, we love you.
You drive me crazy, but I love you.
But we love you.
You definitely drive me crazy. I leave that part out, but I
drive me all the way up the wall and back down.
There's a lot that goes into raising a child.
It is.
Raising it
takes a lot of patience. My nephew is 8, and I be wanting to wring his neck sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
My nephew, Timmy, Nathan. I be ready to throw him. I'm like, oh boy, you don't sound somewhere. Like, literally, I just go get him from school, and he's like already hyped up. Like, he's all dirty and stuff. Like, he got dirt on his face.
I'm already
and stuff.
knowing.
I miss that energy so much.
That's the energy I wish I had at my job.
All I want to do is nap now.
The energy that I had. I wake up.
It's because we got stuff we got to do now.
I clock in, ready to clock out.
But no, you got all this energy until you get there. Like, you pull in the parking lot, you feel that drain and be like, oh.
Yeah.
Right. I gotta go in,
but
do
I
all
think
these people.
That ties back into like really having goals and things that you want to set aside and do in your life. Like,
this is one.
Recently, like I've been chasing the bag, so
I stay chasing the bag.
I mean, yeah, it's really about having that motivation.
I don't like getting a notification from my bank account saying
life's short, so gotta get to it, run it up.
Get to it. I don't even know. I don't know what that was.
Yeah, tomorrow is not promised, so you really have to.
I don't even like to think about that because, like, go ahead.
I'm not perfect, but if y'all got some wrongs with people, y'all might want to write them.
Yeah. Right. Spit that. Spit the fire. Okay, so we're gonna talk about that Coachella herpes outbreak.
Woo.
Like, how does that happen?
It happened.
I have the story, but like I'm so concerned.
Let's get into the story because I only heard the little bit of it. I didn't really get into the full details of exactly what it was.
So, did anyone see the I don't know if it was Coachella, but the dude in Miami, and he walked up to the car and he got like fellatio from the women right out the car.
Fellatio.
That just if y'all want to know.
What is that?
Things like that lead to concert outbreaks. Like, how do you do stuff like that? How do you have an outbreak at a concert?
How do we do that? That's what I'm saying. Okay, so like, here's the story.
Are you that free?
Well, how about we just go ahead and educate the people and let them know that herpes is contracted not just sexually. So that doesn't mean everybody was sleeping with everyone.
Right.
It could have just been simply from drinking off the same drinks and passing around the same kinds of things.
I'm thinking everybody was getting freaky on everybody. So I'm like, nah, that's not for me. It's not a overnight festival. So I'm not. You don't have no place. No.
Festivals, you're touching thousands of people and thousands of germs and bacteria.
Like Kevin Hart, he said, "Dad, put your name on this one cup, and I don't want you to use no other cup. Use this one that your name is on, and not another one." No.
Yeah, stop being that free at concerts.
Do you have the story pulled up exactly on what that is?
I just want to ask where their parents at, cause like, I know if I told my parents that I was going to Coachella, first of all, they'd be like, "Where your money at?" But second of all, they'd be like, "No, you're not going," because like, especially if they heard about this, they definitely wouldn't let me go again the next year. But they said that Herp Alert, which is like the
life alert.
I'm falling and I can't get up.
And I can't get up.
Hi, Miss Debashi. Brienne, what's up?
Hey, Brienne.
Hey, how you doing, Brienne? I don't know you, but
that's my cousin.
What's up, cousin?
Say hi to Jordan and Riley for me.
Oh yeah,
the babies. I can't wait to see y'all. The little babies. Anyway, okay. So Herp Alert, which is like their shut up.
Y'all can't be just out here doing that. Okay, but Herp Alert.
So that's like their little app that tells people when they have a contracted something, and it like helps to be able to diagnose it and fix it.
So how exactly does it tell you if you've contracted something?
I'm sure they fix it.
To know that.
Like does it swab you?
Yeah, they did like a mouth swab and stuff like that, and then like all over.
Oh wow!
Because like if you have it, I'm sure you're not gonna like be like, no, I don't want to be tested. Like I'm not gonna do that. So like they did the little test, and they said that they treated 250 plus patients during the 2-day festival, and it's the second biggest testing since the Oscars weekend 2018, where there were 60 cases a day. I'm like, Oscars weekend
of herpes alone, or like are we talking everything?
No, they was just talking about patients being
to the nitty gritty.
They was talking about patients being tested. That's
just like being tested.
250 plus patients in 2 days, and they said that was the second biggest since the Oscars weekend last year, where there was 20 cases of the thing. Yeah. So but then somebody named Jose Arballo, whatever. I was never good at Spanish. It's okay. from the Riverside Department of Public Health says that the app was meant to diagnose and treat the disease, and it saw a near tenfold uptick during the festival. I swear I can't read today. Yeah. So it saw like 10 times as many like signs and stuff of herpes, which is like, that's gross.
That's crazy.
At the first sign, I'm like, nope, insane. Time to go.
That's a lot of people.
That is.
But I mean,
that's a lot of musty people, and it only starts with one. So like,
it starts with one, and it starts with just not keeping.
That musty person must have come by themselves, because like I know if they came with some friends, be like, nah, dude, you need to take a shower before we leave this house. No, or wrap it up, something. I'm not coming with you if you're gonna be smelling. No, you know it's too dangerous.
You gotta make sure that you're keeping your hands to yourselves and you're washing things off if you're going to be touching. I mean, concerts, everybody's sweating on you. You're touching things. You're picking up stuff. You're putting your mouth on stuff.
That's why I said
I
would have wanted to go to the Coachella performance, but I'm like, nah, let somebody push me one time.
That's a lot, though. That's a lot.
Concerts are not for me. I went to a Layla Hathaway concert. No, I didn't. I went to a Tasha Cobbs concert, and that was good.
Mama can sing, though.
Tasha Cobbs,
her vocal range is
throwing me all the way in.
Through the roof.
Oh, my gosh. It's crazy. But, yeah, I did that. But that was at the House of Blues, and everybody was standing up. But it wasn't, like, crazy. Like, there was no mosh pits or nothing. So, like, I was good. Plus, I don't think it'd be getting too rowdy at gospel.
It gets rowdy at any concert.
Speaking of gospel performances, we had Gospel Fest. I really had planned to go, but...
The weather in here in Chicago is...
It's bipolar.
Not ideal.
You see, but you're still wet from going outside.
Yeah.
The mistake.
You get all 4 seasons in one run.
You really do. All in 1 week if you get lucky.
You can get it in any month if you're lucky. No, actually,
so
you get 4 seasons in 1 month. That really do happen, though.
Yeah, that really
for sure in 1 month.
Especially in August and September.
That definitely has happened.
Oh, my gosh. It's so terrible. I'm like, okay, can I move, please? Is it that time?
Yeah, I'm tired of Chicago.
I've been tired of Chicago. Why is it that every winter gets colder? Or is it just that my body can't handle it? I don't know.
And it's raining as we speak. The rain just started up again.
Can't take the rain nowhere.
Okay.
Anyway, so, next one. Did you guys see either Avengers Endgame or Shazam?
I didn't see either.
So you can't talk to y'all about nothing. Y'all the wrong people to talk to.
Endgames, I've been holding out. Or Endgame. Yeah, I've been holding out. I need to go see it.
Are we still going to a movie?
We're going to see Ma, because that's just...
That movie, Octavia Spencer. Oh,
Miss
my goodness.
Octavia Spencer is legendary.
She is.
She's legendary. I think...
She said, ooh.
I think since The Help, like since that pie moment,
I've been
a fan of hers.
I swear that's what every black employee wants to do to their coworkers.
Oh, yeah.
She was just bold enough to do it.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even want to go see that movie, but my mom was like, you should go see this movie with me, and it's going to be good. Like, you know how moms do whenever they want to see. Right, yeah. Whenever they want you to see a movie, they be like, it's going to be good. I promise. It's going to be good. You're going to love it, and you're going to regret it. You're going to regret not saying you didn't want to go. So I went and actually loved it. So,
yeah, it's a really good movie. Ma that showed me a whole different side of her, and she looked crazy in the poster, so I already know what to expect.
You got to love movies in the South.
But no, going back, I haven't seen Shazam. I've heard some very mixed reviews.
For a DC movie, it was actually a lot better than I thought it was going to
be. That's what I heard, too. I heard that, too. But I heard Shazam kind of like, giving him his own movie is kind of,
I didn't even know he was a character.
Not many people are fans of him. So
not many people are DC fans.
Yeah, most people don't even know who he is. Unless you're, like, super in-depth with that stuff. Yeah, no.
You're such a...
He's relaxed.
These chairs are comfortable.
They are. Got these rocking chairs over here.
Y'all can't see my feet, but they up.
Honestly. Hey, Pastor Fiona. Say hi, Pastor Fiona.
Oh, it's your pastor?
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey, Pastor Fiona.
I'm sorry I couldn't come to your book release. I really wanted to, but...
Book?
Yeah, I had...
What?
So they're launching a book... her and my other pastor, her husband, Pastor Paul, they were hosting this book launch for their books. There were like separate books. One was for husbands, one was for wives. And they were like, stop the foolishness, saying like what you should and shouldn't do to improve your marriage, or what you shouldn't do in your marriage, and all that kind of stuff. So I actually wanted to go, but I know my parents was going to go. Even my parents didn't go, but I'm pretty sure they didn't want me to tell that because it's okay.
They didn't want you to tell.
Spill the tea. Spill the tea.
They didn't want you to spill their tea, Ryan.
Whatever.
Okay.
It's okay. They'll get over it. It's all right. Whatever. No one cares. So, but yes, I'm sorry I didn't come to your book release, but I'm sure that my parents will be getting your book. What were we talking about? Shazam?
You were talking about Shazam.
Yes, I was. Okay.
Me and Malik are sitting this one out because we don't.
I don't know who Shazam is. I'm
he
sorry.
doesn't know who Shazam is, and I just haven't been.
Y'all gonna just hop back in whenever
so,
whenever it's relevant for you. You know what I'm saying? So, honestly, I took my nephew to go see it. That and that.
Who, Nathan?
Yeah. Because you know that they know, well, pretty much everybody knows Nathan. So, I took Nathan to go see it, and then. It wasn't really something for kids. Like, they had a whole lot of killing. It wasn't, like, blood squirting everywhere and everything, but there was just, like, the scenes were kind of intense, even for, like, Nathan. Because he was like, oh, I got scared, and then I got in trouble for taking him. I was like, well, you don't want to ask to go see the movie. I don't know. Like, I can't, since you want to be grown and go see a movie, and then you can't be mad at me because, like, that's not my fault. But, so, yeah, it's not really, it's more for, like, 13 and up, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all remember the Black Wizard of Oz? That was kind of
weird. Yeah, the Wiz. That was
that
was that mess. Yes. Get on down the road. Why don't you get on down the road? Don't you carry nothing that might be alone. You want get? No, that was my stuff. Like, my grandma used to make us watch that whenever she wasn't trying to deal with us. She'd be like, "No, go sit down and watch the Wiz." Like, it really was.
It is.
Diana Ross killed that.
Okay.
See, y'all know I got that song stuck in my head. Okay, whatever. So, yeah, there's this black wizard named Shazam. I was kind of blue because I'm like, wizards don't be black most of the time. But also, they had him looking bogus.
But it was cool to see, though.
It was. That was
I'm
good.
sure it's cool to get that. I mean, that's what makes it special.
It was kind of. It was pretty special. I'm not gonna lie, because I was like, oh, that's cool. Black
Wizard Kelly.
Oh
my gosh! Not
right.
Wizard Kelly.
The man with no
The man
head.
with no face.
Right, the man with no face.
Remember when we did
His
see
extra
his
tall
face,
self.
We saw
How
his
is
face at least
how
one
is his
time.
legs and the rest of his body up here, and then he's spilling the basketball up here?
Never
Like-
did that.
he's like all the way up here. I'm like, really, dude? Physics is not in your favor, dude. Like, it's just not. You not built right. Sorry, but I'm mad you brought that up because I forgot about Wizard Kelly. I forgot about the Proud Family in general. He said we still got Wizard Kelly. Why did I think about R. Kelly? I was like, oh.
We're not gonna talk. This is not the time.
Ooh, child, no.
Or place. No, this can be the place to have a discussion about it. I mean, R. Kelly's.
There is no discussion.
He has some more cases coming towards him. So.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We ain't gonna speak on you.
But we won't. His cases are pending. The transaction hasn't fallen through yet. So we'll just wait on that.
It hasn't been credited to your account yet.
But I can't say free you, my boy.
Right, because you don't deserve to be freed. I'm sorry,
I can't
dude.
free you.
You did not right this time.
It's not in your favor. You're not winning this one. I'm sorry. I hate to say it, but you is not winning. I'm sorry. You're not coming back from this one.
Yeah.
I keep getting interrupted because you keep saying relevant things that are not relevant at the same time. I'm blue. So, okay. He's looking for this, like, worthy person, and then the first character that he like tries to see if he's worthy or whatever, the little boy ends up being the supervillain, and then the next time that he tries it is the time the little kid Billy he tries, and then he gets the powers and he gets turned into a grown man. And the little girl, have you seen This Is Us?
No.
Y'all ain't seen nothing. Y'all just.
Are you right? I run on poor people time. I don't have money to go see movies.
No, this is not a movie. This Is Us is a TV show.
Oh no, or
If you don't
TV
have
shows. We ain't got no
Hulu,
cable.
Disregard that. She
I
made
don't
me
have
look bad.
cable
I can
either.
afford the movies,
We
y'all.
He said
ain't
we
got
not
no
speaking for
cable.
both of us. He's speaking for you.
I can take out.
Or the next time that we come back,
He said I got.
I'll
movie
tell
money.
y'all if Malik has paid for some movie tickets. Okay.
Get that movie pass, y'all.
Yeah,
$9.95 a month. You get free movies. Amen.
You sitting on my
Can
hair.
I get a witness?
You sitting on my hair.
Okay, so forget it because I'm not gonna be able to talk about Shazam
Yeah, no,
anyway.
Shazam, no.
But we can talk about Avengers Endgame because like I'm gonna spoil the whole movie. I don't care if you've seen it or
don't
not seen
spoil
it.
it.
No, like I need to spoil it because it's been out for too long. Like if you ain't seen it, I feel like if
Well,
I
go ahead.
Well,
I'm not really too big into Marvel.
That's what I'm saying.
Anyway.
Like it's not unless
That's
you
not
like. Oh
my
my
type of-
gosh,
That's
why'd
not
you
my cup
spoil
of
it?
tea. My cup of tea is Ma.
No,
and that's
her
what I'm
cup
going
of
to
tea
see
is
tonight.
actual tea, like drama.
In actual
That's what
tea and
Do
drama.
you see my?
spells it.
Do you see my phone case? Like what is this? Ew. Anyway, okay, whatever.
But yeah, we'll be seeing that tonight. So
what happens in Avengers Endgame? Well, I'm gonna just say it. I'm not gonna say it in order because I don't remember it in order. Hulk is burned to a crisp on the left side of his face, like his body at least. Well, I don't know if it's his whole body, but it's like his arm and all that stuff. All that left side is
burnt up.
He looking like a messy piece of bacon, like it's just bogus.
Burnt
but then again, he's made of gamma rays and stuff like that. So I'm like, how you get burnt?
You just said gamma rays, and that just reminded me of your little brother when he just schooled us on gamma rays.
Wow. Yeah, I got a 9-year-old brother who taught me what gamma rays mean. I don't even know what that means.
He's like, here, stupid. This is what about gamma rays that you don't know.
Very smart, but that just made me.
He said, that just reminded me.
Like gamma rays, I'm like, oh, that's
literally the Hulk is made from gamma rays. Yeah. Bruce Banner, he's like, I don't know how it happened, but he's in gamma rays and then he turned into the Hulk. So long story short, he's the Hulk now. But then in the movie, he found a way to like combine the two personalities, so he's the Hulk and Bruce Banner at the same time. Yeah. So like, which is creepy because then he's like this super swole green dude with like Bruce Banner's face. I can't with you. But yeah, so at the end of the movie, what's it called? Everyone gets brought back and Thanos is killed. Black Widow and Iron Man die. Vision, the red guy with the little thing in his head. I don't know if y'all ain't seen the movie. And then Gamora, they stay dead because Vision died before the snap. And then, actually, no, he died before. Then Thanos brought him back to get the little stone thing, and he just crushed it, whatever. And then Gamora's dead because she died for Thanos to get the stone, so she's not coming back. But they say she's coming back. I don't know. There's gonna be a Black Captain America now.
When is this supposed to be occurring?
Because at the end of the movie, so
Black Captain America.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, you know what? I see you.
They
doing
some
Marvel.
Stuff. They doing some stuff.
I see y'all. Y'all doing some stuff on the black end, and I appreciate it.
Now, see, I don't know.
I don't know if I'm gonna go see the movie when it premiere.
Right.
But I'm gonna get up with you. Though.
We're supporting it, but just.
Did Marvel make Wakanda?
Yeah, Marvel made Black Panther. Yeah,
Oh,
they all came back. Yeah, that was my favorite scene, honestly. When the people from Wakanda came back, they was looking all royal and stuff, like they ain't never been gone. I was. Ooh, that's my people. You never seen Black Panther? Nah, dude, you bogus for that.
Yeah, I know.
I done seen that at least 10 times.
I'm sorry, y'all don't vote me out the black delegation.
No, we're revoking the black card as soon as we leave.
Yeah, for real. I'm taking that almost like right now. You like I ain't taking it right now in front of
I know
people.
Friday word from word though.
Huh?
I know Friday word from word.
Okay, well that's fine.
Do that count?
That's like you're like semi-redeemed.
I seen Selma too.
Okay, but like everybody should have seen that at some point. Like,
so I don't get no points for
you
Black
don't
Panther.
know what a long movie is until your grandparents or your parents let you sit there and watch the 10 Commandments, the original.
Oh, or the Bible, all those series.
Those movies are like 4 hours long. 5
right.
hours.
There's a 10 Commandment movie.
And
Yes.
it's long. Is it 7 hours?
Isn't it shown on Easter?
Yeah, it's like 7 hours.
Which commandment do we break every day?
It's like 4 hours or something.
It's a long
time.
Long movie.
It's a long time to be talking about the 10 Commandments. It's only 10. Like, come on.
It's only 10, and we finna put it in a 4-hour movie.
Can you tell me which commandment we break every day? Is it number 2 or number 1? It's a commandment we break like every day. Like you two,
we, or like we as a people in general?
We as a people. We as a people, I plead the fifth.
I'm dead. He said,
I ain't did it.
I ain't never did it.
Okay.
I ain't never gonna do it.
I ain't gonna do it.
I ain't saying nothing.
I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it.
Let's move. What's the next topic?
Next topic. We play too much.
We
okay.
Too much on that.
Anyway, so did y'all know that Common, the rapper? Okay. He's opening up about his molestation and in his childhood, and he has a new memoir book coming out. It's called Let Love Have the Last Word, and he's writing it in hopes that the book will aid in the healing process for molestation. I feel like I'm not saying that right. Molestation victims like himself. The account or the story, I guess he told one of his co-stars when he was on a movie in 2018 called The Tale with Laura Dern. He told her about it. I don't know if he told her in detail or anything because, like, I'm not Common. But
he disclosed it.
Right.
He disclosed
He made it important to her to be able to tell her. So he made it known, and then
we can't be messing up these.
They can't even see the table.
Okay, but that.
Oh, that's true.
That
That's
water
true.
rain was
Right.
gonna be
That's true.
some money.
Mama Tim.
Tell them about your Airbnb experience because I feel like they need to know. That's more important than any
so
other.
I have two. We're not gonna talk about the first one. Because this is not. Is this a 21 and up crowd?
Oh yeah.
Then
everybody here is 20. Well, except for Tyler's, but Tyler okay. Now you gonna need to.
Do you mean the uncleanliness and the inaccuracy of that Airbnb?
He said.
1 second. I'm just gonna plead the fifth on this Airbnb story again. Okay, I'm allowed to tell it.
No, Malik is part of it because it happened to be his birthday weekend.
He said, "I'm not with it. No, don't bring me into that."
I just want to say Airbnb has the worst customer service I've ever experienced. For one, they take a whole 48 hours to respond to
which is kind of stupid because, like,
your Airbnb,
if
baby,
you got all these people,
your name is auto corrected in my iPhone. So for that's money. That's money, and for me to not be able to get in touch with you for 48 hours, oh no. That just can't be happening.
No, it should at least be 24 or like 12.
Would you book again?
Review.
I'm gonna book again as long as it's instant book and it's not Zen City. Yeah, I'm calling them out.
I feel
as
like
long
that's
as it's
why,
not
because
Zen City.
It wasn't
because
like
my first
Airbnb
experience was at a penthouse, y'all. I know, money, right? Cute. Very beautiful penthouse. I had the time of my life.
Feeling it, little bubbles, chest bubbles.
We might have damaged a couple of things.
A little bit. Don't say that. They gonna hold it against you.
No, the bed. Said, they know that the bed was messed up.
Reasons why I played the fifth.
They
know the bed was messed up.
I wanted to be on record. I ain't break nothing.
They know the bed was messed up.
I ain't do nothing.
I ain't break it. I ain't saying who broke it, but I just want to say something got damaged, and it wasn't on our part. Right? It was on how cheap they were trying to set that thing up. Don't get me wrong, penthouse was beautiful though. Zen City is really the real problem though. Not clean.
It really be like that.
The girls had to clean. I had to sweep. I had to mop. I had to vacuum. I had to do all of that.
She did. We all did our little bit of cleaning. So
yeah, no. So I mean, I'd book again through Airbnb, but
it just wouldn't be Zen City. It would have to be like instant booking, and it had to be at least a couple or something like that.
In the entire place. I will never understand how you book a private room, like unless you're like traveling or something. But if you like are a couple,
Yeah, no, that's
If it's just you, yeah, but
that's not it.
If you a couple, baby,
baby,
get you an entire get
baby.
that place to yourself.
Hey, baby. Hey, baby.
What's the next topic?
She literally called them and was like, "This was wrong. The carpet's musty. The beds ain't nice."
I'm itching.
Right. He said the cabinets, the cups have been dirty since we got here. They were washed.
They were washed, but I could still see what they had what they had sliced open with the knife the couple nights before. So I mean, I had to do everything. I cleaned that.
I did some dishes, and it was they.
What else do we have to talk about?
I needed to do dishes twice, and it was not pleasant at all. Okay, let me talk about my business for a second, cause this is not gonna last very long. Actually, does it start June 1st? It probably do. So like, yeah, it's probably June 1st.
Well, I don't want to cut you off, bro. I just want to say y'all better support my boy Ryan Staine business. Whatever he about to tell y'all better support it. Especially all my black people on here, y'all better go support.
That's on period.
And that's on period. And that's on period.
See, don't let the ghetto come out of here.
I'm just saying.
He said that's on period. Ricky
we'll
T.
let you have the floor,
Ricky
Ryan.
T. Okay, so I was gonna say that I have a photography deal that I usually charge $100 an hour for photography. Thank you, appreciate it, because I can't talk today. So I usually charge $100 an hour, but it's $75. But I think it ended today, so I was like, there ain't no need in telling you anymore. So, but In the Mix Productions is my business. This is my podcast, and then I have other things. Go to my website, ryancstaine.com, to check out all the things I offer. I offer a lot of stuff, and you get a good deal for what you sign up for. So, and it's all pretty cheap. And if
my
I know
boy
you,
giving quality work out here. Period.
Go to ryancstaine.com/portfolio, and you'll be able to see everything that I've done for past customers, and like all the work that I've done, not even for past customers, and you'll see the kind of work I do. I do quality work, and the turnaround is quick. So. I'm sorry, I'm a mess. Okay. So, yeah, that's the thing. Also, okay, let's talk about music because I've been wanting to talk about that. That we can all talk about. Have you heard India.Arie's new album?
I haven't heard her new album. I don't think
India.Arie.
I listened to India.Arie since I was maybe like 11.
Yeah,
I'm 20 now. So, you know that's been a minute, but
oh, she has a music video for that song "Steady Love" coming out. That whole every time she has an album, I always think I'm like she can't top herself. Like she can't top this last album, but she always tops.
We think the same thing about Beyonce though. Yeah, and Miss Thing always seems to snatch the wig a little further. She drags me a little further every time. So
pull us pull us closer in. You know what I'm saying?
But when you're a great artist, I mean,
why am I so dark? Like I'm blending into the background. I just realized.
You're
that. And I still have this hospital sticker on. I know, but I still have this hospital sticker on too. Tyler, I love you. Anyway, okay. So yeah, yeah, she has a new album out and she's on tour already. Like she's been on tour for like 4 weeks now. Okay. But she's. What
are the reviews that we're getting? What are the reviews that
I'm
we're
gonna say
getting
you
back?
better talk to the camera. Can't hear you.
What are the reviews that we're getting back for?
I don't know because I haven't. I mean,
haven't
people seem to love it because she's put in the video people's like Instagram and like social media, like them recording it and them going on live and all the comments and stuff. You can see all the stuff that they put on, but I'm assuming that. Hey, Chris, Sean, what's up? Okay, anyway, sorry, I didn't want to make it seem like you're not important. I'm sorry. Love you. What was I talking about? See how easily I get distracted? I'm like, you know what? Whatever. Okay. Yes. What about India.Arie?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, her tour. Okay, yeah. So she has videos. Sean, yes. Okay. Why do I keep doing this to myself?
We gotta talk about the case of this little boy.
Right. Okay.
That's
okay. Right.
I forgot the little boy's name, but I have been following up on the story for a little bit.
AJ Friend. That's how it's pronounced. Yes, AJ Friend. And so, technically, what happened was the little boy. He was 5 years old, and he was found in Woodstock, Illinois, under a pile of hay and multiple garbage bags. And the boy was buried by his parents.
He was split up into multiple garbage bags?
No, like he was put in he put the kid in the garbage bag one, and then put the garbage bag in another garbage bag in another garbage, multiple. So then, who's liking it like that? Thank you, whoever's hearting it like that. We're showing love. Come on. we love all this love we're getting here. Okay. So yes. They found him in multiple trash bags. The dad literally led the police to the burial site. And so the night of the burial whatever, the mom, they found the police found videos on the mom's phone of the mom beating the little boy because he peed on himself. And it goes on for 2 minutes. And 2 minutes of whoopings is like a year. It is terrible.
Yeah.
Oh,
especially for a 5-year-old.
Right. But then again, it's 2 minutes of whoopings for peeing on yourself. You're 5.
I can't even lie or flodge.
Flodge.
As he would say.
I'm going to need you to explain that. Explain your slang, ma'am.
Being 5 years old and peeing on myself in the black community, we would have got whooped too.
Definitely.
I'm not going to even sit here and act like whooping them.
Nathan got whooped too.
So was she whooping them or was she brutally beating the child?
No, she was brutally beating them.
She was beating him. Okay, because you said whooping, so I'm looking like we got whoopings for just
no. I'm talking about straight up whooping all over the body, African whoopings. They whoop the eyes, the head, the arms, the stomach, all over. It's just I haven't seen the video, but I'm assuming it was something bad because they didn't show it to the public. So that and they also found a grocery list of incriminating items like bleach, gloves. A tarp thing, so stuff that you really can't dismiss as this is what I'm trying to do. So and the parents were stupid anyway, and so the mom whoops the kid for peeing on himself, and then puts him in the shower, a cold shower at that, just leaves him there, walks off, and then after she comes back, she gets him and then puts him in the bed, cold, naked, and wet. in the bed, and then that night he dies. Like
so I just want to understand the story right. You said they beat him and then did all that, put him in the bed, bleached him, all this stuff.
No, they didn't bleach him. But I'm saying they found the grocery list of like things that they wanted to buy that showed just like they was trying to clean something up. They was trying to clean, do something and clean it up. So the mom beat him and then put him in a cold shower because, like they said, he peed on himself.
Right.
So they put him in a cold shower for I don't know how long they said it was, and then when she came back, she got him and put him in the bed. Never dried him off. None of that. And then that night he died in the bed. Like he died there. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, something like that. And then they called the police. They called the police and said that he ran away. Like, I don't know why you call the police anyway, because then it's just drawing more attention to you. I'm not saying that, like, that's not what they should have done. They should have done it this way because, like, they're bogus anyway for doing him like that. But, like, that's just the one way to show that something's wrong. Like, especially if you're trying to hide it, why would you call the police? Like, I'm just mad because they tried to cover it up, but then they weren't good at it. Like, like you bogus for one killing a child when you could have just like given it up for adoption or something like that.
Definitely.
Or like, there's so many other ways this could have gone, and it's like.
Yeah, I mean, I personally think I seen the story. I don't know if they had any like psychological issues, but
they said he had ODD, which is like oppositional. What's it called? Oppositional. It's like you don't want to do whatever people say, or like you do the opposite. Child had ODD
they said what about the parents? Did the parents have any psychological
issues? The parents,
issues?
I'm sure the parents had something.
Was he diagnosed with that?
No, like the mom was like he has ODD, and like no doctor diagnosed that. No.
That, so then more than likely he didn't.
That's what I'm saying.
He just had excuse my language, but badass kid syndrome. When you just don't listen. But they don't know how to handle it.
That's what I'm saying.
They don't know how to handle it.
That's what I'm saying.
Drugs and kids don't mix, and if you just don't have kids, if you can't discipline, if you don't want to discipline kids, because kids can't help themselves,
That's all I know.
Especially at 5, this is the time when you should be guiding your child to,
pull it up so it doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah, guiding your child to, do the right things. Children aren't going to know right from wrong right out of the room.
Also,
that's kind of like your responsibility as a child when you lay down to
I
make
heard,
them.
Right. I heard that. Go ahead.
I'm fully comfortable saying this too. It just, I think about it now, like I couldn't see myself killing my child at 5. I mean, I pissed in the bed till I was like 11, 10. So, I mean, I'm sure nobody on this podcast who watching is great. I'm sure you had an issue. So, like, if you want to kill your kids because they doing something, I don't think you need to have
like
kids.
You definitely don't need, and that's why I don't want to have kids until I know I'm in a place where I have the patience and like the grace to deal with it. Like, if you can't deal with your kids and you see them. Yeah, they was definitely off.
That's happening with a lot of kids. I mean, I don't know if you guys have heard the recent story of Malia Davis in Arkansas, the 4-year-old girl.
That's so bogus the way they did that little girl.
Yeah, basically, I mean, it's the same thing going on with that too.
I just saw the Instagram thing last night, and I was like, "Oh,
yeah,"
because
apparently they might have found her remains. So, it's just.
It's so bogus.
It's disturbing.
They said,
it's very disturbing.
They said that the mom. They said that the mom beat he beat AJ because he didn't wash the dishes right and put them on the little dryer thing, the dryer rack. He didn't put them on the dryer rack right. I'm like, first of all,
children are not slaves.
I'm like, first of all,
they're not slaves. They're not puppets. They're not toys.
I'm like, why is a 5-year-old doing dishes anyway? Nathan is 8, almost 9. He's gonna be 9 in September, and he has yet to think of touching or washing a dish. Like,
all I did was cut grass and take out garbage. Never washed. I just gotta put that out there.
He said, "Hey, go take out that trash. Go wash them. Go wash. Yes, go do that." But yeah, no, I don't understand why you have a 5-year-old do it. And then she has 2 other kids, 2 older kids, and then you just imagine the trauma that they're gonna have just knowing that happened to their brother. Now both parents are in jail, and then the mom has a new one that I don't know if she's had it yet, but she has a baby on the way. I'm like,
oh, the mom was pregnant?
Yeah, the mom has 2 kids already, well 3 including AJ, and then she has a new one now that she's in jail. I don't know. As soon as she has it, they're gonna take it.
This is the only mom I would say we could ship to Alabama. I know y'all know what's going on in Alabama, but she deserves it. Y'all can go ahead and ship her right across.
Right.
It's
right.
heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking that
That
these
is so
children,
sad.
their
Like,
lives are ending abruptly.
I can't even imagine like doing anything. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's so many ways this could have gone that you just didn't have to deal
Or
with it.
just don't have children if you're not
Right.
ready to take care
Close
of them.
your
Because
legs.
regardless of you giving them away, that child still has to live their life on
Right.
earth. You know, giving them up for adoption is always not the best option either, because you don't know what kind of families, you know, adopt children out of foster care. So
She said if you can't deal
just
with kids,
don't
then
have
you
them.
need to rethink about having
Exactly, right.
about having them. If you have them, then give them to family members that will take them.
Right.
I know that's right. Yeah.
But then again, like,
I've been thinking about going to my grandma's house too many times. I'm like,
you don't want to put that too, but you also don't want to put that burden on your family members. I can speak from that personally because I was raised by my great grandmother, and you know she raised her
like
children,
18 generations,
her children's children, and her children's children. So I mean, she's raising 3 generations, and I mean that took a lot of her life, you know. So now she's in her 70s, and she cannot say that she's had. Yeah, grandma's in her 70s. She's young for a great grandma.
Shout out grandma. Shout out all the
Come
grandmas.
on.
My granny too. Love you, granny.
Grandma Mary.
I'm glad to still have y'all here, both of my granny.
I love you.
It's amazing, but that takes away from a lot of their life. You know, they don't get to go off to college. They don't get to have, you know, the kind of lifestyle that they want to live because they're stuck raising your children.
Same with this abortion thing. How do you, since you're a woman, and I can't speak on this because I'm a man, right? Since you got the body parts for the abortion and stuff, how do you feel about this abortion ban thing?
I personally feel like I'm not so much in agreement with abortion. I personally don't think that it's right, and it's not something
it shouldn't
that
happen.
I shouldn't be happening, but I don't feel like males in office should have the right to tell women what to do with their bodies.
And then they said,
you know, it's the same thing on birth control too. Like, they had an issue with birth control as well, and it's like, okay, well, if you're not gonna let them abort the children, you don't want them to be on birth control either. Then what are we doing? Like, sex is we're all adults. Sex
hashtag close your legs.
It's a very common thing. You know,
it is.
It's natural.
Go ahead.
I just want to say I support all the decisions y'all make with y'all body, because I know it's hard. And
it is. I can't even imagine being
a woman, bro.
Ooh,
I can never imagine.
I can't even be a man. Like, no, I can't.
So much y'all deal with.
It's a lot that we have to deal with.
I know. Just childbirth alone, like, I can't.
And, you know, personally, it's a lot that women have to deal with. So
y'all have a lot more grace for kids, for men, for everybody. It's just.
But I feel like everybody should have an option, though.
But I've always said, I think, I don't know, I could conclude this one with, like, I think women stronger than men. It's two different aspects, though. You know, we don't like to say it. I do think y'all stronger than us, though. If you just if you take everything in one and you think about it, bro, like, they carry for 9 months, everything they deal with kids, they really like the barrier of, like, everything. So, yeah.
She said, "Don't do what it takes. Don't do what it takes to make a baby, and abortion would not be an issue."
That's true.
That's true.
Said, don't lie down and have a baby.
Don't lie down and have children if you're not ready.
You make that bed, you lay in it, you know.
Yeah.
Miss Tammy over here spitting wisdom.
Yes,
okay,
Auntie.
come on.
You better come on because, if you're not ready to...
As simple as that, though.
To take care of a child, provide for one, it not only in, you know, the financial aspect, but, you know, emotionally and mentally, take care of that child and keep them stable, then don't have them. Don't have them.
As simple as that.
It's very plain and simple.
But then again, I'm like, I can't say that because, again, I'm not a woman.
You're not a woman, but you're a man, and it takes a woman and a man to create one.
And then they were saying,
a lot of the time a lot of the times when it's with you know, a lot of these young children being killed. What are you doing? Oh, you're commented.
Responding and stuff to the thing.
Yeah, you know, I got Alyssa. What's up, Alyssa? You funny. That's my high school friend, man. Shout out to Alyssa.
We out here. We live. Anyway, okay. So, like I was saying, I can't comment on it because I am a man and I don't have the bodily functions to do what y'all do. I don't have the personality function, like behaviors and all that stuff that you guys do that are able to deal with things like that. And they were saying in cases of rape and incest and stuff like that, I agree. It shouldn't happen 100%. It shouldn't happen. And I don't want to, like, make somebody... I mean, at a certain point, I don't care about upsetting people because, like, it shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Like, but then again, I don't want to be one of those Bible thumpers. It's just like, oh, well, the Bible says this, and this is because.
But we got to be realistic about what's going on in today's world. I mean.
But then again, also another point of it. I was always thinking about this. I was thinking about what I want to say.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but like in terms of like rape and incest, are there exceptions to these abortion laws? Like, are women still able to get them if they are impregnated through those?
I think that if that should happen, there should be a way to get birth control for free. Like, in those instances, birth control should be free.
For the most part, birth control is very affordable. But as far as like
in the instance of like being raped, but once you raped, you already impregnated. So
yeah, like, I mean, like in the instance that you are. In the instance that you are, can you hear me in this one? Yeah. Okay. In the instance that you are raped or you do have, an incest, relationship, I feel like you should be able to. You should be able to. You shouldn't be forced to carry a child that, like you said, you didn't want to lay down and make.
Right.
So, as brutal as that sounds for some people, and coming from me as a woman, I feel like, again, that option should be available. Because some women do carry their children, after, their child being like a product of rape. Mm-hmm. But it should be available. You shouldn't be forced to have to carry a child that you didn't want to conceive or a person that you didn't want to conceive it with.
Yeah, that part's sick. That's always been the sickest part to me. Like, I couldn't imagine being like, don't quote me, but like raped. I couldn't imagine having to like bear a child, and I gotta bear this child with the person who like forced it. Like, just think about it.
It's not just that. A lot of the times, women can't carry full-term pregnancies. Like, it can almost kill them. So, what do you want them to? Do you want them to like sacrifice their life?
That was also a thing that they brought up because they're like, what if it ends up killing the mom? And it's like, honestly, I guess.
Hashtag close your legs.
I did. You see me? I said it like 8 times, so you should have seen it coming. I don't know. You should have seen it coming.
Yeah, I seen you say it, but I didn't think you was gonna type it and put the hashtag.
It's there now.
It's there now.
Just be glad I ain't pin it. Yeah. Because no, I'm not gonna do that.
No, go ahead. I was gonna say, what other topics do we have to cover?
No, I was gonna say that I was thinking about this like all the time before we started this. I was like, so. Some Christians, like the Bible thumpers that I was saying, they don't see it in a perspective like God's hand is not in it. Because, like, if you look back in the Bible, God, I was like, he was there. Like, if something happened or if you did something wrong, he was, you gone.
Oh,
like,
you did what?
Like, so if you did something wrong or if you did... Okay, listen. If you did something wrong or if you, like, went against the Bible or something like that, like the commandments or whatever, back then, it was like, you're gone. Yeah. Like, I don't know what the two people's name was, but, like, there's a story in the Bible about this couple, and they were, like, accountants or something like that, and they were supposed to give their tithes, but they ended up stealing it. I'm sorry if I'm butchering the story, but because it's been a long time since I heard it. But they ended up not doing the right thing with, people's money. Tithes, so then I think someone said something to them, and then they lied, saying that, no, we didn't steal the money or whatever. And then all of a sudden, they both just dropped dead. Because, they lied and said they weren't doing it. So, like, back then, God's power was a lot stronger. God's hand was in things a lot stronger. But now that, with Revelations and talking about the end of the world and all that kind of stuff, the rapture, he's not in it as much. So I feel like that's why things are happening. And people are always saying, well, why are all these people dying left and right? Why are kids dying on the street? Why are people homeless? All that. I was like, I think it's because God's hand is not in it. That's why this kind of thing. And I'm glad abortions are banned because they shouldn't happen. But also, I want people to know that God's hand is not in this. So that's why things are happening like this, because literally he's going to let hell run loose, like flat out. He's going to let hell run loose, and then he's going to come because he wants this to be a testing period for those who are like for real Christians. Because when he comes back, he's going to collect those, for real Christians. And then he's going to bring them up, and then the rest of them who don't come, they're going to be stuck on earth for 7 years. And then he's going to come back and get those people who survived, because it's going to be terrible. But after the 7 years, then he's going to take those people and then bring them to the new heaven and new earth, whatever.
So, only question. Oh, my bad, bitch. So only.
Mr. Gregorman.
Only question I have about the 7 years. So are you saying like the true Christians, when you say he comes gets them, do they die through like just medical illnesses and so like it's not like a violent death or like are you?
It can be. I mean, I don't know exactly what kind of death, but like then others are gonna be chopping people's heads off. I know like you've seen those kind of movies where like the end of the world kind of stuff, but those kind of movies are not like Christian based, so it's literally just like whatever their imagination is and like however they want it to go. But I'm not sure. I can't really tell you how it's gonna look.
Mothering is one of the best jobs you can have. We get on your nerves to make you better adults. Yes, Tammy.
Yes,
Tammy.
you're absolutely.
She said that. Yes. Period.
Oh, you just. You and this microphone are not best friends.
It keeps coming out of the thing, but no, I completely agree with that.
Thank you, Mr. Gregerman. I appreciate it.
I'm not a mom yet.
No.
But I'm not a mom yet, but I've been around enough younger children and in their life to know that is such a special and amazing job to have, especially just as a human being, but like as a woman.
London said that she doesn't agree and that she doesn't think that we should put religion with that.
Gave us free choice.
And it's not even that I put religion as a base. Oh, that was my choir teacher from high school.
Yeah, we do also have, free will.
Yeah, God gave us free will to be able to choose that because he knew, like, we're not perfect. And if we were perfect, then, we'd make the right choice and that we wouldn't do, and that, like, the person, if, like, rape or incest in that instance, then that wouldn't have happened because we were perfect. We wouldn't have anything in us to do that or to carry that out. So, I say that abortion shouldn't happen, but it's not because I put religion behind it. I say it shouldn't happen because you're killing a life. Yeah. Like, because I think about it in my instance, like, if I wasn't here, probably who else wouldn't be here?
Do you feel like that should go in the case of, like, rape and incest? Do you feel like they still shouldn't have an option?
I think in the case if it's
like something that's either going to be like
if it ends up almost killing the mom,
either taking the mom's life, or if you feel like it's something that's unwanted, it was it happened from unwanted sexual intercourse. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like women should have that option?
I feel like
just about people having kids and not wanting them. There are a lot of different ways.
Yes, there are a lot of different ways, but this is why this is a difficult subject because like
that's
there's so many.
I was just gonna say this is a very sensitive subject,
especially since I'm not a man, and I keep saying that because I'm not a man and I can't make that decision. I don't make those decisions, and I can't,
I agree with Ryan. Like it's we can't. It's a situation where like we really. Males, I don't think males should have a say so because like
you really shouldn't. And then the only woman that had a say so along with all the men, she was like 70 something. So like,
and then what say so do we give women with every decision we make, bro? Not one.
No.
Like so, it's like, and just to touch on the religion part too. I know you wasn't. I don't think you was putting like religion behind it. Like exactly.
I didn't say it as the religion wasn't the reason why I said it shouldn't be because I feel like killing a life in general. I feel it in my instance. Like
I think you used it.
If my parents kill me, then I wouldn't be here. And I'm just thinking like, who else wouldn't be here? Who else would I not be able to touch? Who else would I not be able to impact? What wouldn't happen if I was killed off or like if my parents killed me off? Like that, I feel like there's just too much going into it, and there's too much like too much good that could happen, even if you did have the baby and then like you just gave it up for adoption because you don't want to deal with that, the memory of this is the baby that came out of incest or rape or whatever, then just give that up for adoption. But then again, also I feel like London was saying, there are different ways and that there's a lot of things that go along with that. So I'm like, I just push back on it because I can't say anything. Like I don't know.
I feel like I agree with you, but I also can see like where it's saying like, okay, carrying a child, at the end of the day, you still got to carry this life for 9 months.
Right.
Some even 10.
And the thing I'm trying to say is like, I'm trying to stop it before it gets to the point of conception because like, at that point, then you're killing a life. But if you end it before it gets to that point,
you mean like through like the practices of birth control and like Plan B and
then they were saying that birth control is not affordable. It should be free for those people or free for anybody because like if you have
contraception should be available. Like, it should be free.
I mean, there are places that have like free condoms and stuff like that, but
not everybody is wearing one.
That's true.
That's how a lot of the STDs and epidemics are spreading.
Ms. Taylor said it needs to be based on the Word of God with all that we do, and I agree with that. But then again, it's like we have to we see it differently, I guess.
Nah, I know the reality of it because like my mom, like not to get personal, my mom, she a Christian. I'll just be like blatantly honest on this podcast.
Blunt.
I'm not
That's
Christian.
What we like.
But I'm just not a religious person in general. I do believe in God and a higher power, but I feel like the world is like it's a control base with everything. So like if you think about it, having the option to even abort is a control. So like if you just think it's like we control that. Like a person can wake up and say like we can make the machines and the laws and everything else is like strictly abide by us to
Miss
abort
Tammy
kids.
just said exactly what I was saying. She said adoption is the next option, even if though through incest and rape, killing a child is murder.
I wholeheartedly agree with that.
I agree.
But we have to think about this. Are we just gonna ignore like what goes on in foster homes, what goes on in group homes?
Right, exactly.
Children are molested, they're raped, they're not taken care of.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Adoption is not always the best option. That's why I go back to conception being like
right.
Staying on top.
Not even just like birth control, because like there are boys being molested too. There are like those people. So like there should be rape kits and like every type of thing that helps you recover and like not put you through the effects of that thing. Those should be free. Yeah. Those shouldn't be. You shouldn't have to pay for that. You shouldn't have to put forth. Your insurance shouldn't have to suffer because of something that you didn't sign up for, something that you didn't ask for. Yeah. You shouldn't have to pay for it. Like, and there, in other countries, a lot of Medicare and all that stuff is a lot of medication and stuff is free in other countries. Like I think Australia, all their healthcare stuff is free.
Finland, all types of places, their healthcare is pretty much free. Even their schooling to an extent is free. So I mean,
and I think we got to stop passing judgment too, like on women.
Right.
I think women pass judgment sometimes on women too much too, because like you never know the circumstances of like why women got an abortion or like because like not to get personal again, but like it could have been. I understand what you're saying when you say like if my mom aborted me, because my mom literally aborted the child before me. So like, and I don't know the basis. I do know the basis actually, because my mom straight told me like I was a single parent. I had this going on, that parent, and like I couldn't at the time. I didn't want to bear bringing a child in the world, and I couldn't fully provide for them like how I needed to. And it was an early term abortion, so like maybe she didn't feel like she like the whole. But it's just like I don't know. I don't judge a woman for like what she decides to do with her body or like her kids. Like
a lot of time, people are saying that. I don't think anybody said anything.
But that's just my piece on it, though.
Yeah. No, they didn't say anything. But I don't know. There's just a lot of different angles to it, and then with all the different angles, there's different ways that things should be handled. Things should be gone about, or like solution-wise, and it's not always easy, especially with these things. Yeah, people should definitely respect women more than we do, especially with those people in the office. They're seeing their power.
I feel like men should not have the option.
They really should.
Yeah, we shouldn't have the option.
If you can't have a child, if your body is not originally built that way, you cannot have a say.
You can't.
I mean, you could say what you want, but it's not gonna matter.
Yeah, Ryan just hit it on the nail. We don't have any of y'all parts. We can't relate to y'all in any way
at all. I mean, we have one of the parts that's required to make a baby, but that's not one of the parts that has the baby.
Right.
So the parts that has the baby, whoever has that, that should be the person making the choice.
Right.
That's who taking all the medicine.
Right. That's the one getting checkups, getting medication to make sure that the baby's okay throughout the whole pregnancy terms and all those. And of course, I don't even know about that because, like I said, I'm not a woman. And then that's why I brought it up, because it's like I wanted to know, since you're a woman, that like how you feel. You know what you're saying.
Yeah, my piece. Like I said, I'm not in favor of abortions, but I do 100% stand by the fact that women should have the option. Like because they should have the option. They shouldn't have that stripped from under them. I'm not
if that's the last resort, maybe.
I'm not encouraging that, because I mean, like, you got to think about it. Like Lyndon said, it's not just not having kids, not wanting to have kids. Sometimes you just simply you're putting your life at danger. Yeah. Like, might not be, like no.
But then again, I know in the Bible it says that those that die, because there's like an age that you don't know that you're doing wrong. So like it's from birth to like maybe 3 probably. It's like the age where you know what you're doing is wrong and stuff like that. Those babies who die between that period automatically go to heaven because they've never done anything wrong. They've never seen, they've never had the opportunity to do wrong, to sin, to do anything wrong. So there's a place in heaven for those, yeah. So in abortions, I feel like there is a happy ending for that, but also it just shouldn't happen.
We can talk about the greatness that can come out of it. We also need to talk about it can go both ways. Going back to these 5-year-olds and these 4-year-olds that are being beaten to death because they can't be mistreated. Exactly. So are we really giving them? You can let them be born into this life, but are you giving them a chance at life when they're being killed off so early?
Right.
It's a contrast to every situation.
Yeah.
It goes both ways, and you really can't win, honestly, because
that's just the world we live in, though. Like at this point, the world like a funny place to be. Honestly.
This topic is so layered, but to put it in some perspective, everyone is different, and every situation is different. In that instance, no one can tell a woman what to do in the case of incest or rape. 9 months is a long time to carry something that from a traumatic situation. You better come on, Sean. Come on with it. Come on with it. And then Auntie said Exodus 20 speaks on the 10 Commandments, and thou shalt not kill. And that means babies as well, even from conception, regardless of how they were conceived. God is still in the womb, knitting the baby the baby to term. Dang.
Knitting the baby from the womb.
A word. That's very well put, Sean.
It was very well put, and I get where that's coming from. I understand that point, and I agree with it. I
just wanted to shout out Frank Dunn. I can't really see if it's a woman or a male.
No, that's London.
That's
London.
My cousin.
Oh, okay. That's the one that's delivering in a week.
Okay. Yeah. See, shout out to you. You feel me?
Please let me see your baby.
Don't
get mad at me to the point where I can't see your baby.
She got one of the realest comments on the post to say, now if God comes down here and tells us otherwise, then okay, but not another human being. That's what I said. So
also,
it's a control
in
basis,
that instance, I know God sees what's happening. He knows that we're not perfect. He knows that, we're going to make mistakes. I
think that goes back to the death toll that we were talking about. Some things just happen to keep other things in order. Like, it's a cycle. It's a cycle.
Oh, yeah, come on here,
I'm not all the way in there.
Yeah, I was about to say, you over here just whispering. I'm like, okay.
But you got to think about that. Like, a lot of these things happen for a reason. Mm-hmm. A lot of these things happen for a reason. Like, sometimes you're not able to carry a baby full to term. Like, you're just not able to do it. And
like your body isn't enabled to do
everybody
something like
isn't enabled to do it. Just like, I'm trying to figure out where I was at. I think I was talking about the death toll, wasn't I?
Yeah, you was talking about the death toll.
I was talking about the death toll. What was the number? Like 155,000?
Oh, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Something like that.
She was saying that probably wasn't accurate. I don't know.
But you got to also think, like,
in other countries and stuff like that, even those people who weren't registered.
The not to get too far off topic, but the ghetto was a prime example of why things like this should be available.
London just brought up.
Look at all these baby mamas that are having kids left and right, and not to say, going back to like saying don't lay down and have a baby if you're not ready, but then again, don't bring one into this world if you're not ready.
Right.
Because look at that. A lot of children are living in poverty. A lot of children can't get the things that they need despite being adopted.
London,
you know what I mean?
London just brought up.
She's
like, if you guys have seen When They See Us or know about the situation with Central Park 5, I don't know.
I haven't seen it, but I did see a tweet about it. You talked to me about it earlier.
If you'd like to explain that, London, because I don't know anything about that.
She just brought up. She said, "Have you seen it?"
God's word instructs us in how we should live His word. And it has total authority. When He said to love Him with all your mind, soul, and body, to love Him is also to obey Him.
Yeah, and I think too, like on top of loving God, like just in general in the real, I think a lot of us need to like learn to love ourselves, because a lot of the hate comes from like stemming from not having self-love. Like you don't even realize it, but like I feel like even with these topics, like cause it's just the abortion thing is weird to me. Like how can I have a judgment on like anybody?
Also, like, I hear a lot of women talking about a separation of church and state because they don't want that religion based inside of their decision to do something.
Like we're putting this into a Christian context, put this into a Muslim context as well.
Yeah, you could put it in so many ways.
Context,
like for example,
it's selfish to put it in just a Christian aspect.
Right.
In a lot of Muslim countries, they do what is called like.
They marry their uncles and stuff like that.
They do what is called. I mean, I remember I read a book up on this, and I also did like a project on it where they. He said he's going to take a bathroom break.
I need a bathroom break. I'll be back shortly.
A lot of the times they do what is called female circumcision. Basically what they do is they cut off certain parts of the genitals for females, and that's on a religious basis. And us, we don't agree with that. But them, they see that, they deem that as correct. Like, so I think to a degree, yes, there should be a separation of state and the church too, because like that's not socially right for women to be born into something like that. We don't see that as right. We don't see that as like, hey, you shouldn't be cutting off body parts because of this. Like, that's not completely right. So yeah, like to a degree, there should. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I finished. Go ahead. I was saying with the separation of church and state, I heard that a lot, and they don't want that religion and the thought that, you know, they don't want religion to be the reason why people say that they don't want abortions to happen. But I feel like if you have strong enough faith to the point where if something like that happens to you, I've seen people that have been raped, have been, you know, dealt with incest, and their faith is strong enough to the point where they trust God to the point where, like, if the baby kills them, then they know, like, you know, God's got them. They're going to heaven, something like that. And I feel like our faith isn't strong enough to the point where we're able to, like, really put our lives in God's hands, even if it's to the point of having a baby or, like, the baby's going to kill us. I feel like our faith as, like, a people in the United States, a lot of other countries have miracles, signs, and wonders happening. Like Africa, like South Africa, they have a whole lot of miracle signs, and wonders happening because they trust God. We're over here, over here, a lot of people.
Tammy, but that's from a Christian perspective. That's what I'm saying. We know that, but everyone doesn't, and that's true. Yeah. Like I said, I wholeheartedly respect and agree with the Christian perspective, and it makes sense to me. But you got to look at all these other, like, people who are, you know, they're in situations like that.
Right.
Did you use the bathroom? Okay.
Yeah, I was saying, like, our faith is just not strong enough to the point where we trust God to the, like, if this baby kills me, then I know that you've got my back. I know that whatever happens to me, that even though I might die and the baby might die, that I'm still going to be with you. Or, like, we just don't have that strong faith to the point where we trust God that no matter what happens, that he'll bring us through it in the most part, like, if you're going in a positive way, that he'll, you know, bring the baby and you through it. But also, he said we were bought with a price, which cost Jesus his life. So therefore, we are governed by God's word. So what he says is what we do, and that's true.
But
we should.
That's true. But then again, I guess you could tie that back into sinning and how everybody has their sin, and you say that you know that God forgives. So I'm sure he forgives if you have an abortion. Not to say you should just go out and be like, hey, I'm going to get an abortion and then God will forgive me. But everybody has their mistakes in their life, you know. Some people, their sin is like they've slept with people before marriage.
Or
some
like people who have multiple kids and like carry it through, but then like the state takes them. At least they brought it through, and then they don't have to worry about that because they're under the state's protection, even though the state is dangerous, and like that whole situation of like foster homes and stuff. Like, so if people have multiple kids and then the like state has already taken 1 to 2 or multiple kids of theirs that they've had, and then they keep having kids, and then the state keeps taking them, like that's also a thing. It's like, no, I'm glad you kept, you know, you birthed it. You birthed the baby.
You can put that. I mean, on a personal level, you could put that towards Izzy and Logan.
Yeah, like, exactly.
That would you rather her, like, if she was to get pregnant right now, would you rather her carry that child out and have that child go through the system and go through the pain of not, you know, having both parents, or would you rather them like not be brought into this
a lot
world?
Of these men that make these decisions, they don't have that thinking. They don't have
and
that.
I'm gonna say it. A lot of these people a lot of these men are white men.
Old white men.
They don't know what it's like to live in a black family, to struggle in a black family. Like,
Republicans.
Go ahead, speak your piece, because I
go ahead.
You look like
he was like, yeah. He said, yeah. He said, yeah. About that.
I just feel like we so structured. It's sad, you know. We in 2020 pretty much, and like
almost there.
Halfway.
We still structured, but I know like it's not just. At this point I don't just blame like Caucasians or like white people, because like I have white coworkers and white friends, and you know all of them aren't structured that way. But
I don't think they have that white supremacist views or mindset. So
exactly, I just feel like we saturated too. Like the black community, we so saturated mentally. It's kind of sad. So
she said, "Do you guys know about the Central Park?" No, please explain what it is.
London, please explain that, because I want to know.
I actually want to look it up and like
drop us a comment.
Right, come on.
Yeah, drop that comment. Y'all, we gonna go ahead and look it up.
Central Park 5. I feel like I heard that though.
I know it sounds super familiar, but I'm pretty sure it's not what I think it is.
Did you share your podcast? I thought you shared your
podcast. You can share it though.
We having
a these are like enlightened conversations. Okay, this stuff people need to hear.
Apparently, it's a documentary on I think it's YouTube and it's available on YouTube and Google Play, but I haven't seen it, and that's probably because it's on YouTube that I just don't feel like paying $3 for it. But so it's filmmakers Ken Burns, Sarah Burns, and David McMahon examine the 1989 or 1969?
I think I heard about this before. I might have read up on this. I'm sorry.
Wait, hold on. Filmmakers Ken Burns, Sarah Burns, and David McMahon they examined a 1989 case of 5 teenagers who were wrongly convicted of raping a woman after they had spent from 6 to 13 years in prison. A serial rapist has confessed to the crime. That's I don't know how to. That's crazy. I haven't even heard of that.
I've heard about this. I didn't get to watch it. Is it a documentary on
It's on YouTube.
YouTube?
But I was like, I've never seen it.
We'll have to watch
I think I heard about it though.
Look into it.
Which is crazy because like, what? But a lot of people, like all these old white people, they have a whole lot to say on things that they shouldn't have. Not even just abortion, but like
not even just on the basis that they white.
Like, Donald Trump is the main one. The annoying orange should not have any say in abortion. He shouldn't have any say in anything because, like, he doesn't understand the struggles of the lower class or the middle class. He doesn't understand emotions in general.
This man said he had a small loan for $1 million.
I'm like, man, I can't even get a loan from my dad for $25.
That is absurd.
But in 2019, like... It's crazy. He said a small loan.
He said a small loan.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, if that's small, I'd love to know what's a big loan.
If you look at like the hotel revenue though, like the revenue for hotels like billions. So like
but
that's true.
That's mostly true. What the Republican Party is older white people with money. We talked about this. Like
and they
Rockefeller
don't care because
was a Republican, so money is just swimming in the Republican Party. They don't know what it's like.
They're up here. The people with money, they're up here, and they'll stay up here. They won't come down and be like, okay, let me understand your situation. They'll be like, okay, so this is my situation. I'm up here. You're down here. Oh well. No. Like, and that's the thing. That's who we put in office.
What do you think that does for a lot of people in, like, not to make this a race thing, but what do you think that does for a lot of, young black girls that now, like, they get pregnant, now they're stuck with the baby. Now they have to get this 9 to 5. They don't get to go to work. Exactly. I mean, they don't get to go to school.
Right.
It continues the cycle of poverty.
They have to push it back.
It continues that cycle of poverty.
Right.
Because they don't have the access that they need to make sure that their life is sought through.
Miss Tammy said Ephesians 4:5 says that there's one Lord, there's one faith, and one baptism, one God and one Father of all, who is over all and through all in all. All through all and in all. Yeah. I love how she coming through with these Bible verses though. She on it though.
So she's making valid points.
She is,
she's making valid points. But I personally just feel like women should have that option. Like I said, I'm not encouraging.
Maybe as a last resort.
I'm not encouraging you to go out and get an abortion, but I'm saying that you should never be denied that, especially no, you should not be denied that.
But then again, it's like we don't have strong faith.
The best way to put it is like you got to just literally put yourself in their shoes. So if you got raped, and like honestly though,
it's
like
cute to say it is, to say it,
but then when it happens,
to live it,
or even to think about someone you love,
it's just like
it
death
happening to someone you love. That's crazy.
Like that's the one thing I've been learning. Like
think if this was your niece or your nephew, your niece, like if someone raped her, and she had to have a child, would you be like, if she's telling you like, look, I don't feel like I can have this child, I don't want to bring this child into the world, are you just then gonna force her and say, hey, you have to carry it?
Honestly, no.
For adoption, after a while that adoption thing is gonna get old.
All right, yeah, because that's money too.
Kids go.
Yeah, that's money too. It's a lot of money behind adoption.
It's a lot of money behind adoption, and then the
foster homes, hospitals, and jails.
America is in
Literally
debt.
$22 trillion.
We don't have enough money to even support that kind of action.
We're literally making money off of people being in poverty.
It's sad.
So.
Like jails are making money off of people being in jail.
So do you think on the end of like you know, saying that's kind of like a tactic to keep us, like, you know.
I believe that all tactics made by these old white, I want to say to be words,
is you know, completely banning abortions a tactic to kind of keep people in poverty, because then again, like you said, now you're stuck with all these children, now you're in a cycle, now you're getting on Section 8, because then, you're never going to get off of it.
Because then they have to increase, they have to make it more. I've seen that firsthand with my parents, because they have to make it more available to people, to everybody, especially if they're having more.
Is cracking down and the girls are fighting.
Yeah,
she said, Miss Tammy said, but having faith sometimes is all we have to get through, and on everything. That's all I got.
I agree. It's just like, that's hard.
I believe in having faith, but I also believe in like
reality,
being realistic about the situation.
Yeah, like I know, like
you're not gonna tell your 15-year-old niece that's been
to
raped
pray.
that she needs to pray on faith.
Yeah, like
right, that's true. That's not something she's gonna want to hear. I mean,
gonna tell her like, hey,
but you know,
if she's telling you, I can't. You know, I don't.
Right.
If she's telling you that, like, hey, I don't want to have this child. She's 14, 15. She don't want to have a child with somebody that she didn't intend to have a child with. You're not gonna tell her, hey, lean on faith.
Right. Like, it's not something they're gonna want to hear.
We gotta like faith. Faith is a nice thing to have, and I agree. Should always be, you know, faithful in God and always lean back on that. But you have to also be realistic about what it is that
because it is a traumatic experience.
It's a very traumatic. And
like
you know, carrying a child and having that thought of like, I've been raped, and this is a child that is a product of rape for 9 months.
Not only do you have to carry the temporary pain, even if it's not temporary, even if it's permanent pain, suffering, the memory of it, the realization that it happened, then you have the baby that, you know.
That's another memory that you have to,
right.
And then giving it up.
That's why,
memory. You carried this child for 9 months, and now you are forced. You have to give it up.
She said,
that's a connection you form.
Miss Tammy said, I've raised 3 kids after a divorce on faith, knowing that God was going to take care of us, even if I had to use the system, but only until I was able to sustain on my own. Miss Tammy, you are.
No, I understand. The situation a little different, because like, I see that. I understand that all the way, because my mom raised 3 of us by faith, and she's still doing it by faith. My mom was very strong, but like, you know, at the same time, just the best example I think to like clear the air with that whole thing, like, just look at the abortion for rape as like insurance. Like, we have life insurance, right? And we go outside every day, and like, we walk by faith, every one of us. We're in Chicago, but like, I could go get killed tonight, and my mom prayed and my grandma prayed every night, but like, it happened. I died. So they still walk by faith, and I died because I have to die one day. So like, insurance is for when shit happens. So shit happens, you know. Excuse my language, my friends. I know it's probably adults on here, but that's literally what insurance is for. So like, maybe in a rape culture, abortion could be insurance. So this woman don't have to endure all the psychological issues that she gonna go through. She didn't lay down to make a baby.
She laid down, but it was forcefully.
Now, outside of rape, I can definitely understand you, Miss Tammy.
Wait, what'd you say?
What'd you say?
I said, outside of rape, Miss Tammy, I definitely understand you. If y'all just out here laying down having these kids, y'all need to walk by faith and take care of them. Because y'all just having these kids, and they got a lot of contraceptives out here, but like, in the rape culture, I just can't.
I love this. Hold on, y'all. She said, to be blunt, it starts at home, and she put starts at home all in like capitals. She said parents are too busy trying to be their kids' friends instead of being a parent. Okay. I'm like, that's facts.
Yeah, that's facts.
That's facts. Hey, little Billy, are you okay?
None of us have kids.
And we all in our 20s, so.
But we all come from 3 different sets of households. You come from a household where, like, okay, your parents were together, but you are, you know.
Divorced, single parent. My mom divorced it. My mom and dad divorced at 9, single parent. My mom moved around until she got set on her feet with a house, and, you know, she had 3 kids. She still made it happen, so.
Right, and I mean, I come from a household where I didn't have any parents raising me. I had my grandmother raise all of us.
And she did actually a good job.
She did a great job for how I turned out.
A wonderful job. Thank you, Grandma.
Amen. Amen.
You know, so I see firsthand, and then you come from a 2-parent home where you've always been raised by a parent with marriage. So there's 3 different perspectives up here, and it's good to kind of see that.
I was watching.
It's good that we have 3 different.
Bro, I swear, like. Okay, so I was watching Fresh Off the Boat, that show about.
That's such a good show.
I love that show.
That and what's the other one with the Jewish family?
Oh, the Goldbergs, wasn't it?
Oh my God.
I haven't even watched that one. Grandma love those kind of shows. Anyway, so like there was an episode I was watching last night where the white girl, Honey, she's like married to this older guy. It's one of those sugar baby relationships, whatever. So they were like, the woman, the wife, she was like, I'm having trouble, parenting my child. And then she's like, oh, it's because you're trying to be your daughter's friend. And then she's like, oh, I have no child friends. I was like, bro, if that's not the realest thing ever. Period. Like you should never. Yeah, she's like, I don't have any child friends.
You gotta look at the world.
As in, like, I don't have. My children are not my friends.
They're not my friends.
Other people's kids are not my friends. Period. So I'm not gonna treat you like my friend. I'm gonna treat you like my kid, because even that goes back to like slave times, because like those white people were taught to be slave owners pretty much, and the cycle will repeat unless you were taught something different. So it like you're saying, it does start at home, and it's something that you have to be taught different or taught out of. Unless you hear it constantly, you're not.
Which is why, going back to my point, if you are not ready to have a child, you either need to take the steps necessary to make sure you're not impregnated, or like I said, you should have the option, because it starts at home. And if you can't be raised right at home, then children should not be brought into that equation. Right. Like, think about all the neighborhood crackheads and all of that. They families wasn't, But it starts young. It starts when they're young.
In a way, I feel like
they don't have no control.
I feel like your kids, they see the world through your kids gonna see it in their own light. But like for the most part.
Hello, Parrish.
How it's Duna? Hello, mother.
Hey, Paris, how you doing, Mom?
Hey, Paris. Hi.
Stick around. We're having a good conversation.
I don't know how much longer this is gonna go, but I'm liking where this is going.
What other topics do we have to cover? See,
I don't know. Honestly, I forgot after we started talking about this.
We got way off topic.
We got
way up. I
it
feel
was
blessed.
never on the list, but
that's an important thing.
Honestly,
that's really a current
compared to the topics that I had, this was way more important, because like I'm glad that I got your opinion, and I'm glad I got your opinion. I'm glad that we were all able to.
Other people's opinions.
Right. We have a Christian perspective. We have the not Christian.
And I respect everybody's opinion and ideas too, because I'm just one of those kind of people. I just say my piece, but I think everybody think different. So
everybody does. Everybody, because everybody's situation is not the same.
We just at the end though, I think we all want the same outcome for the world, but we
that third mic.
Yeah, we did.
Man,
talking at one time.
Maybe next time we'll have it set up, or maybe I'll just set something up in my house. I don't know, but I mean it's going pretty decent. See, I'm saying y'all was like, I don't know if I could do this. What we gonna talk about? What we gonna do that? It's usually kind of like rough in the beginning, but then once you really get started, it's like, okay, I could do this. It's like conversational. Like
I think it's really about. I mean, not even talking about things that are hot. Like not to say that the Avengers isn't a good point to stand by.
It's not.
But it's good to talk about social things that everybody can relate to. Because like you saw, I wasn't able to relate to some of the things you were talking about.
Like,
I'm up here supposed to be talking. So it's good to talk about social things, because then that's when people started chiming in and giving their opinions. So, things like abortion, things like healthcare, and, education system, and, what's going on.
All these things that
in
are
the
messed
middle
up in
class
our
and
world.
lower class community. It's good to have those discussions about those things.
And a lot of people scared to talk about it. You just gotta stop being scared to talk about it, because it's really in our face every day. So, not talk about it.
And it's
and
terrible.
If you don't speak up, who's going to?
That's really the point we at. I feel like now in the world though, like it's more powerful people who can really speak and use the power of their tongue. And
then the people who are in power, we have those people who are in power that are just like, who put you here?
Like, why are you here?
Like, why are you talking? Like, why are you talking? You're literally irrelevant in every possible sense of the word. Like, there's no reason that you have a say in anything. So. And then, like, the fact that you're so proud about your stance, even though it's complete BS, like, what? Like, what?
It's not.
It amazes me, honestly, because I'm like, we put these, well, not we didn't put them in office, but people, like the United States citizens, I don't know. It just happened. I don't know. I didn't vote for Trump. I voted for Jesus. So what's up? For real. I wrote down. They was like, do you have an other? There was two options. Bring Barack Obama back or put Jesus.
It's so sad that he don't get to serve another term.
That's what I'm saying.
He done. He did all he could do. He can't do no more.
Throw back to George Washington. He said, you know what? I know y'all love me and everything, but I can't serve 3 times. I'm sorry.
He can't serve 3 times. And he probably tired. So
he said, I'm tired of y'all.
Let that man live.
He said, I'm tired of having to deal with all y'all's mess. I'm not trying to do it no more. Done. I mean, he probably didn't say it like that.
But I'm glad we could have that discussion about abortion.
What else y'all want to talk about?
it was a good discussion.
It was
a much needed discussion, especially that we're younger people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
We're the future generation.
Are the ones that are going to be setting the stones for everybody. So it's good to have that discussion. And like I said, I stand firmly on saying that you should be given the option. That should never be taken away from you.
It really shouldn't. It should never be.
Like, we don't call this the land of the free for nothing, y'all. You come here so that you have options.
It should be land of the free healthcare.
You come here so you can have options. You don't come here to get you don't come here to get third world country squared. Like, it's not that at all.
She said, I'd like to see these other 2 young people in church with you. I was like, well,
I don't mind coming.
Yeah, we don't mind coming. But like, Wheaton is so far out. We live west of Chicago.
So I'll pick y'all up.
She's a minute away. She's a little minute.
For me doing the driving, you already know. I'm well aware of the drive.
That drive?
Man, you really got to be wanting to go to church, because there's so many days where I could just stay home and watch a live stream. I'm like, nah, they expecting me to be there.
You know what I think would be good too? Not like, I don't know if we could orchestrate it, but I just think like people need it. We need like a generation, like a generational generation, because I feel like our generation is so their generation is so like, not all of them, but in a way they so like out of tune and like what we deal with on an everyday basis. And I know they like live life too, so like they walk the same issues and everything. Yeah, but times are a lot different. We dealing with a lot more.
Like my dad says, whenever he sees like something about the LGBTQ community, he's like, it's more in our face. It's more like all in our ears. It's more like all in our face. We can't deny it. We can't get out of it. We can't get rid of it. We can't unsee it. It's like it's everywhere, and it's not gonna stop. So like.
No, if anything, it's going to be amplified.
Oh, it's definitely
going to be amplified. But that's.
I was watching Hulu last night, and that the tobacco-free commercial, whatever, I think it's specifically for the LGBTQ community. See, I can't say. I don't know. I try to be. You know, with it. That's what I'm saying. And they keep adding them.
It's actually more letters than that.
Eventually, they just gonna form a word. Right. The LGBTQ plus. I think it's LGBTQ. AIP, but I don't care about all that. So whatever. But like all that, I think it's specifically for them. And she said she gonna be looking for y'all. Challenge accepted.
You might not see me this Sunday though, because I got a couple things to take care of tomorrow. I'm sorry, y'all. If I would have known in advance, I would have slid. But you know,
Sunday's a church day. What you mean?
But you know.
Get her, Miss Tammy.
I ain't do a
Get
lot
her,
of
Auntie.
That I needed.
Get
to
your
do.
belt. Get a whopper.
But that's the world that we're in now. You know, a lot of the social thing. It's the cycle of life. It really is. Just like 50 years ago, we were fighting for rights for Black people. Now they're fighting for rights for LGBTQ.
They for real trying to put us back into slavery. All these white people.
Like that, you know, changes happen. That's just that's just social changes. We're gonna have them. Society can't stay the same forever.
That's what I'm saying. It's always changing.
It has to change in some way, and it just so happens that now we're in the LGBTQ phase, and honestly, the abortion phase, and women's rights phase. That's what
I'm so sick and tired of seeing like all these cops that act like they done lost their mind after all these years of being in the service. Like all of a sudden, like something snapped and they don't know how to act.
You mean when it comes to
like those videos
young Black bodies being disposed of like trash bags? Is that what we're talking about? Because we can have the discussion. Like that, yes. We can have that discussion. I'm all for that.
She said, "Okay, sweetheart, Sundays are every week. You better get her. Get her."
She's snatching me clean
just
up.
Snatching me clean off. She said, "Come here."
Clean
she said, "Come here."
Okay, here.
Right here. Yeah. Anyway, so I forgot what I was saying. I was like,
were we talking about police brutality?
Yeah.
Did y'all want to talk about that?
Yes, let's do that because.
But can that be the closing topic?
Yeah, that can be the closing topic.
That can be the closing topic. What do you want to talk about as far as police brutality?
Like their tactics are bogus. Like the way they're trying to get us to like. I know the end goal is to put us back into slavery because that's what they're going for. But they're trying to.
I just feel like if you're not ready to police, like as you should,
that's
then
what I'm saying.
Don't need that.
But even
job.
those people who've been in the service or in the force for years and years and years, and all of a sudden they act like they lost their mind, like they don't know how to treat people right, like.
Oof.
Like
shootings in general. These gun laws are like.
because I'm not.
Y'all get y'all FOID cards. It's only $11.
Yeah, y'all go get those FOID cards. Please go apply. Then go.
Before these gun laws start cracking down and you can't get one. So
Yeah, for real. Because they gonna tax. Get your FOID card. Go to the gun range. Go get this practice. Go get your conceal and carry. Then carry it and conceal it. And if somebody run up on you,
getting the conceal and carry cards, it's like not everybody needs to have a gun.
No, if you live in the city of Chicago, you need a gun. I'm so sorry. Maybe that's how it is in the burbs. Okay, but in Chicago, I mean anywhere now in general, because shootings are happening and everywhere. But in the city of Chicago, West Side, South Side, even the North Side, East Side, you need to know how to either shoot a gun to protect yourself, or to protect yourself. Like you should know, you should have.
I think as far as gun laws go, they should start dropping mental evaluations on people though, because everybody don't deserve no gun. And,
you got to do the Maury Povich test. What you mean?
That goes for police officers too. And people,
anybody
who
lie detector test.
They probably need it the most.
Lie detector test. That's a good point. It costs a lot of money though. It costs a lot of money for everybody to get a lie detector test.
What I'm thinking is, I'm like, what about these tests cost so much? Like, you got paper, you got ink, all that stuff. If you can find it in America, you should have
$22 trillion in debt.
So we taxing on everything.
Right. We stay taxing.
America.
We already know we're not gonna make it out of debt. Like,
no, we'll never make it out of debt.
We so far out of debt, we done fell down the hole. Like,
22
so far,
trillion. I don't think that's possible to even come up out of.
It's a real number, but it's not. I don't think anybody has realistically ever.
We'll never see that in cash.
I want to know who has I want to know who has the most debt. Like that person. No, I'm talking about like one person. I want to know which one person has the most debt, because I'm like, what did you do to get all that?
One person has the most debt?
Oh, I know she's not asking Siri. Oh,
I gotta know now.
I found this on the web.
Meet the most
indebted. Oh, we about to know today.
I'm sure he was rich. I'm sure he was rich at a point though.
Okay.
Somebody gotta look it up.
But wait, we can look it up on the computer.
Former Society General rogue trader Jerome Kerviel owes the bank $6.3 billion.
From what?
I'm sure
Here's what his case tells us about financial reform.
Oh.
6.3 billion. You might as well just kill me at that point.
Right. I'm not paying that back.
I can't buy nothing for real. I can't do nothing for real.
Right. Like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah, what can I do? I can't get a credit card. Kill me, bro.
Just give me that death chair.
He did fraudulent trades. So that's now I can see
how
he carry out that much in debt.
That makes sense. See, people who are
how
like,
exactly can you carry out 50 billion euros or 73 billion?
I wish I was in control of 50 billion euros.
Unauthorized trades. You can obviously he can do it. He needs to let me know.
I love Miss Tammy. I love Miss Tammy. Miss Tammy said, "You're so right. That's why I have my FOID card and me and Jesus already."
Period.
Miss Tammy, shout out to you, Miss Tammy.
I love her. I cannot.
Yeah, for real, these women definitely need to start protecting themselves. I try to get my mom, but like my mom is a Christian lady, so she walk by faith for real.
Amen.
But like a lot of these stupid dummies out here don't walk by faith. So I hope they don't play with my mama, because I ain't walking by faith.
They walk with the gun by their side.
But
you know
to the police brutality topic, I think it's funny. I used to look at it the black way, and I say the black way is just like, oh man, they racist, they want to kill us and all that. But I actually got pulled over by like a cop, like maybe like November, and he was like a 20-year-old cop from like and like he straight told me, like he was like, man, he was like, I was so scared when I walked up, dude. He's like, cause I seen your arm go to your backpack. He was like, I really didn't know, man. He was like, I didn't mean to have like my holster out, cause I seen his holster.
Yeah, they're usually always on it just in case.
Yeah. And he
they gotta be ready.
And I had to think about it. I'm like, damn, like this a white kid, 20, like from Aurora. Like,
how do you become a police officer at 20? I feel like you shouldn't be able to like your
bro, they so young,
your
bro.
mental capacity.
Yeah, some of them so young, bro, and like I had to think about it. Like,
you don't even know how to manage your credit proproperly. What makes you think that you can manage holding?
You're not even done with college yet. Like,
and it's a few of them out here that's like 20, 23, 20, our age. And like when I seen that, I was like, I gotta be honest. Like, if I'm
Amen. I said, Miss Tammy said, I walk by faith too, but God gives us wisdom to use what He has put in place.
There you go.
And that's spirit. And I'm gonna pull out that 22. And use her.
That big 22 for real.
I'm gonna pull out little Betsy.
For real.
I'm gonna pull out little Stacy. What's up?
Little Stacy. Period. I'm gonna pull her out and use her.
Blah 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 blah.
Like it's I don't know. I feel like like thinking about it though, like I couldn't imagine like being like one of them and then like having to like pull up to a shootout in a black neighborhood. Like I'm not gonna want to like I'm protecting myself if I'm them.
In the black
So like period.
Like
so
despite them having you said going back to what you said about mental health evaluation, you got to think about what a lot of times what these cops are going through, especially in the city of Chicago when the murder rate is so high. You got to think about that. Like they're seeing mothers being shot with their babies in their arms, babies being killed. Like you got to think about what this does to them mentally and how this scares them. You know, they go home. It gives them PTSD.
The men at our church, we were partnering with the Carroll Stream Police Department, and they let us go in there into the police station, and like we saw how they prepare for like different situations, and like they have like the little screen with like scenarios, and then you actually like it's like a game kind of, but like you know they test different situations and like how you respond to them, and like I could tell. Like I can't be a police officer. I'm just like no, I don't have the right response time. My brain.
Yeah, I could definitely be a police officer.
Why do you feel like that?
Yeah, we don't need to ask you 20 questions, sir.
I'm gonna be.
Why do you feel like you'd be?
I could be suitable. I feel like if it's okay. It depends on if we talking about.
London wants to watch Central Park 5 with us.
All right, cool. We going.
Come on.
We going.
Are you gonna buy it? Cause I don't have $3. I'm sorry.
Is it on Netflix too?
I don't think so. It's. I wish it was for the free. Let me find out, cause. Sir, you whisper all up in the microphone. Whispering all.
I know what I'm saying. Like right now.
Y'all funny.
Y'all are funny.
No, y'all funny.
My bad. We laugh all day if y'all didn't know.
But okay, back to
when they see us is on Netflix, but Central Park 5 is not.
Okay, we'll have to figure that one out. How much it costs?
It's $3 on YouTube.
Boy, you better throw that $1 together. Each of us throw $1
dollar together. Yeah.
We can talk about it next time.
What I say? We all got $1.
We all got $1.
Do we?
Yeah, if you ain't.
Last time you said.
I said if you ain't got no money, you got $3.
$3 for some
That's
rice.
true.
You got $3 for some Chinese food.
Okay.
Did y'all see that movie Detroit?
I heard about Detroit.
Yeah,
I heard
that movie triggered me.
Oh, we out of?
Huh? Oh no, she was just saying hi. She's like, oh, we're leaving. Okay.
We out of here.
Oh. Yeah, oh, we're leaving. Okay. All right. Sorry.
No.
Okay. Oh. Okay. I'm sorry.
You need to relax.
She said yes. Some police don't need to have the jobs that they do because they shoot first and ask questions later.
Yeah, and
I was like that's problem number one.
Yeah, that probably go back to the suitable part.
It's really just based on your background and like how if you know you can't respond to situations just thinking about it, you definitely don't need to be on the force.
Yeah, you gotta think.
Because it's not even just like emotional; it's physical and like.
Cause it's a life.
Yeah, it is. Right.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle.
I want to know what you guys think when people say like, oh, what is the difference between black people in their community killing each other and white people killing them? Or like police officers, for example, like why are we in such an uproar about that, but we don't make enough noise about the black violence that we see every day here in Chicago?
Black on black crime is the most.
I got Pete.
Oh, down Pete. Down Pete. Anyway,
I'm gonna be back.
Right. Okay. So wait, what was your question again? I'm sorry.
Like the difference, pretty much between like black on black killing in communities.
Why do we make such an uproar when there's like police brutality?
Okay, so I know what I'm gonna say now. Okay, so go ahead, you go pee. Bye. Bye. Sleep. Anyway, so I think the media has a really big influence on us, and like whatever they push out, we believe, and that even if we don't believe it, when we look into it and like the details of the stories that we see on the news, that causes us to act out. And it's mostly because we see our people dying, and we're like, this shouldn't be happening. But one of the pastors at our church, one of the campuses at our church, Pastor Derek Jackson, he was saying that the black on black crime is way more than white on black crime, and that the news puts out things to intentionally make us act out and to retaliate and to feel like we need to put forth this effort to make sure that white people know that we're serious about this and that we're not going to take anything from anyone. So I think that's why we have so many people like the Dallas shootings or something when they was just like killing police officers left and right. I think that's the reason because
black people was like killing police officers.
Yeah, they were like on top of buildings, like sniping people down and stuff like that.
Black people doing that.
I think so. I'm pretty sure black
that's
people.
crazy.
They was just killing police officers. I'm not sure if it was
wow.
all black people. I'm saying like
they was killing police officers.
Yeah, they was like on top of buildings and stuff, sniping people down. But like a lot of the influence has to do with the news, and what they put out is really kind of biased, even if it's not biased, because like they form the story in a way that gets our attention.
Yeah, because it's like you say, or people say, if they don't got a story, they're about one. So like, I look at it like how you just said, perfectly honest, bro. Like I feel like we gotta stop the war within ourselves first before like we can work on the war within like the police. First. Yeah, we gotta look at ourselves definitely. It's way too much, like especially in Chicago. It's way too much black on black killing. It's sad. Like we honestly we to the point in Chicago where we could like.
And we're so deep in it that we don't even see a problem with it.
Yeah, we don't see a problem with it, and like. I don't know the percentage of black people in Chicago, but I'm sure we could X each other out the way we killing each other. It's sad, and it's really sad too because we really killing like the
our
epitome. I was just about to say the epitome of our future, like the young black men. And like if you think about it, you need a young black male to reproduce with a black woman. So if we killing off so many young black males, then like that's really killing the epitome, like killing like the future of everything we got going on. So I feel like, and then it's like you said too with the black. White crimes, I feel like that's more of a mental thing. Like we got to get over that mentally because, like you said, I think the news is just very biased, bro. Like everything that we watch on the news, it's kind of like some stuff you see, like the Van Dyke, that's clear as day. That's what we have to work on mentally. Like we got to get to a point where we realize that there is like cops out here who just like they don't care at all. So you got to do better as a black person. When I get pulled over, I could be like. Man, hey, bro, you stopping me, bro. You doing this, bro. Like, I ain't did nothing, bro, but I comply. I just say, hey,
also,
how you doing?
Like I was saying that the news has a lot of influence. It also gets us angered to the point where we feel like we need to be like, okay, so this is how we react to the police instead. And our reaction is not the right reaction.
At all, bro.
And it just affects it more, and it negatively affects it in a way that, like, makes things worse. And, like, that... You knew that wasn't the right way to do that, and yet you did it anyway. Like that, the hate you give, like the dude, he was taking it like it was a joke, and that's why he got shot. Because he's like, oh, you're not gonna do nothing. Like I don't need to put my hands on the thing. The girl was serious. Like she was like, no, put your hands on the thing. I'm not playing with you. Like put your hands on.
A lady officer shot a male.
No, this was like, have you seen The Hate You Give?
No, it's a movie.
Yeah. So she was always taught by her father, who was incarcerated for I don't even know how long, but Oh, she said, be mosey and know what your children are doing and who they're hanging with.
Period.
No. My mom asks who I'm with, and when I leave, not at 22, but up until about 19, she definitely used to, who you going with? And I never met them, and like, so yeah, be like that with your kids.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You gotta know.
Definitely.
Especially with us females.
Yeah.
There's way too many of us getting snatched up.
Man.
It's way too
I think we turned out decent, though.
Yeah. I mean, personally, us...
Yeah.
Based on our reflections and stuff, it's like
I feel like we turned out okay. Like I never been to jail, and
hey,
never been to jail,
Kind of recap on what you said.
I said so. The media and like the news and stuff has influenced us and our reactions to the police, even if it's not just to the stories themselves. It's to the reaction that we give the police officers if we get stopped because we see this happening, and then we form hate inside of ourselves and be like, okay, so this hate is since they can hate on us and do whatever they want, that we can do whatever we want, and that negatively affects us. And we know that that's the wrong way to go about it, but we still do it anyway, and it turns things around and makes it worse. Yep. So even if the news is biased, even if it's not biased, because the way they form the story, they either have one side of the story or don't tell the right side of the story at all. Yeah. And most of the time, I think ABC usually covers it pretty unbiasedly, but either way, like still. Like, I think they just cover the facts, but they're, yeah.
He hitting the microphone.
Boop, boop, boop.
Y'all, excuse me.
Y'all just gonna hear.
I think everything you said just hit it on the nail, bro. It's like, I think, in a sense, we all got like a negative, like I know I do for like endpoints because like I've had all kinds of experiences. I've had the the officer who like, you know, hey man, how you doing? You know, I'm just pulling you up for a routine traffic stop. I seen this, you know, you have your license, your registration, you know, I comply with them, I go home. Then I've had to, hey man, get out the car. I'm patting you down, I'm searching you, don't have a warrant to search me, and I know all my rights. So like, you know, I think sometimes it's like it's coming off as like who you are, cause like just seeing me around, I might look like in the city.
They
I'm
see
just,
me, they're like, nah, he ain't doing nothing wrong.
you know,
I got baby face syndrome.
until they hear me talk, and then they hear me talking, they see I got sense, and I, you know, I'm respectful and I comply. Then it's like I literally watched the officer go from like, hey man, get out the car, man. I smell weed till I smell marijuana, and like I don't got no weed till I get out. Till like I'm like weed, bro. I don't even smoke weed. I work at the Shed Aquarium, bro. Like what do you mean? Until I show them my
checks, like what?
Like and they see my college ID, and then they see the Shed Aquarium ID, and it's like, oh, you know, my bad, sir. You know, you do have sense, like.
And
you
those
know.
are the people that are right, like in their head.
Those are the ones who do mental evaluations, though.
Yeah, cause like, why would you just make an assumption like that? Assume.
Everybody needs one.
And you don't know.
You don't know me, yeah. Like, but I could say I don't know. I think I understand some of them being scared.
It goes back to that trauma. It goes back to that PTSD and that kind of like I don't want to be the next cop that's shot on the side of the road or I'm killed. Like it's really like I need to get them before they get me. Even
though I will say the ratio to cops killing us and us killing them is very different. Like we die way more than they die type thing. Like so.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up because
wrap it
up. So this has been The Realest Ryan Season 2, Episode 2. Thank you, Timmy and Malik, for sharing your thoughts. Thank you.
We'll be back.
Thank you, Miss Tammy. Thank you for Dana, Paris, London. Love you so much. Everybody who watched, everybody who chimed in, everybody who commented, everybody who showed us love, everybody who hearted. Thank you. We tried this live Facebook thing for the first time, and it ended up doing really well.
It started a little rocky, but it ended off nicely. Maybe next time we'll just have pointers and have it together a little bit more and talk about things that people.
Because I had my topics together, but it just it was the wrong crowd.
But I felt like sticking to like the social things people could relate to.
Yeah,
people could really chime in and give their honest opinion. And we'll have 3 mics next time.
Yeah. You gonna hear each and every single one. There won't be no shifting. Sorry, no.
It'll just be set up better, but you know, it's the first try, and you live and you learn.
Also shout out to Dynasty Podcasts for hosting
shout out to Dynasty Podcasts because they did an amazing job with the soundproof room and then
the lighting, the computer,
really nice, and the complimentary water, guys.
Gotta love.
I was thirsty.
Shout them out.
Thank you, Jaime. I appreciate it. If you have a podcast or anything that you're trying to do like this in this area, definitely hit them up because they're the people to go to.
And if you have any like current events that you want Ryan to talk about, or you
let me know.
Let him know so that we can really just jump into the nitty gritty of it once we get everything set up.
Oh, I'm about to die.
Layup.
Okay, we about to leave. Okay.
All right, we're gone,
love
guys.
y'all.
Bye.
Much
we're
love.
Here.
All right, Malik, you just not gonna say about it to people?
Yeah, he's just like.
He's like, you know what?
I appreciate you having me on your podcast, Ryan, bro.
Of
appreciate
course.
y'all watching, sharing ideas.
Yeah, go support the business. He's an amazing photographer. Definitely. He does a really good job.
Check out my stuff, even if you don't believe what they say. Even if you don't believe what they say, just check out my work.
Just check it out. If anything else, you don't have to buy anything. Just check it out.
Also, my Facebook page has reviews, so you can see what other people have said.
Yeah,
I'm 5 out of 5 right now, so come and mess me up.
Okay.
Okay. Just stare at the camera really hard. This is gonna be our picture for the cover. Okay, we're done. All right, 3, 2, 1, bye.
Bye.
Okay, did we end it? No. Okay.
How did that go?
That was really good.
It was decent for it to be the first time.
That was good as hell.
My phone's dead. What are you tweeting about, Tweety Bird?
Twiggle now.
I'm having it all, buddy.
You have all the juice that I don't even have.
Twiggle.